You know, I had a feeling about tonight's mystery movie. Considering that, it was horror and it was right around the ballpark of one of my most anticipated movies left for this year. I had a hunch as to what this movie might be. Then the trailer started playing, and my hunch was seeming more and more correct. And by the time the movie got started, I was 100% right. Meaning my choice to watch Lake Mungo yesterday paid off big time. Because we're here to talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Strunk. Welcome back to QuickTime Reactions, and welcome back to Noobs for Horror October, where I, a relative noob in the world of horror, take you down this winding, crazy road of spooks and scares, and this one goes straight through the town of Shelby Oaks. Yes, it's now time to talk about it. This movie stars Camille Sullivan, Sarah Dern, Michael, Michael Sexton the third. I might, or no, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Michael Sexton the third, Michael Beach, and Robin Bartlett, and Keith David. And it tells the story about two sisters, Mia and Riley. Riley is the face of an early YouTube channel called the Paranormal Paranoids. Yeah, Paranormal Paranoids. Yep, that's, and it's also with her friends David, Peter, and Laura. But when they go around the town of Shelby Oaks, they seemingly disappear. And Mia, holding on to hope that her sister is still alive, tries to find out what happened to her sister when she starts encountering some very, very strange circumstances. So, I have been excited for this for a couple of years now because this movie is written and directed by Chris Stuckmann, the legendary film critic, now film appreciator on YouTube, who I can remember back in what, 2020, 2021, his intentions of doing this movie. I think he announced it, and then they were having trouble getting money, and so they launched a Kickstarter. And this ended up becoming one of Kickstarter's most successful horror movies. It made almost 1.4 million in Kickstarter stuff. And then, of course, having surpassed every single stretch goal imaginable, they went and they made this movie. And soon enough, Flanagan, yep, that Mike Flanagan, came on to produce the movie. And not too terribly long after that, Neon, the production company that just last year made the Best Picture winner, Anora, they're now releasing this film unto the world and into theaters. And first off, I must say, congratulations to Mr. Chris Stuckmann. Um, he's living out his dream of having a movie that he himself made, and it is now on the big screen. But he's not the only person um, that made this. Yes, he did write and direct this. He did have some help with the story. Samantha Elizabeth was his co-writer in the story. Um, and I think both of them did a really good job with that story. Um, Stuckmann has a lot of potential with this. Is the potential in this is just absolutely brimming, and he shows that he's going to be a major force in film for years to come. Um, his direction in this is so good, but the way that he flows the story is also really, really good as well, because it starts out like a mock doc, and similar to the two movies that he has cited all throughout his press tour, which is Lake Mungo and Noroi. Um, if you want to go and check out my Lake Mungo review, it's already up on the channel, and you can hear my thoughts on Lake Mungo. But this movie starts out with major Lake Mungo vibes. You can definitely see the inspiration in the start of that movie, but at some point it switches over to a traditional film, and towards the tail end of the movie it switches back to that mock doc style, and the way that it flows is seamless. It's absolutely seamless, and that is incredible. I want to say foresight as a director, for like knowing when to switch format so it's not completely jarring for the audience. The performances in this are absolutely incredible. Camille Sullivan is on screen for a majority of the runtime, but um, she does an absolutely amazing job, holding on to hope that her sister is still out there, and wanting to try and find every single little thing possible that could lead her to her sister. Um, Sarah Dern as Riley is really, really good. There's, of course, Riley's last message, where we only get to see a little bit of it, but in that little bit, it's like she's really good. And then towards the tail end of the movie, where she's a bit more prominent, she's really, really good in this. In that little bit where the paranoia is really, really getting to her, and she does some things that you might think is questionable, but at the same time, I'm like, no, no, you have to do it. You have to do it. Um, Keith David, man, if there's any person that can give exposition and give it well, that is Mr. Keith David, because Mia goes and talks to a former warden at the prison facility, um, and Keith David absolutely crushes that. Um, and it's just awesome that they were able to get Keith David in this, as well as Michael Beach. I was racking my brain trying to remember, like, I've heard his voice before. Where have I seen him? And he was the patient that had like the stomach cancer, the scar on his stomach in Saw 10. I was like, that's where I recognize him, because I remembered his voice, but I couldn't remember like where it was from until I did like a quick Google search before recording this. Um, Andrew Scott Baird, who is the cinematographer on this, absolutely incredible job. Um, Knowing when to cut to certain things, knowing when to like hold on a shot to make even the jump scares even more surprising and shocking, to elicit more of a reaction. Like, obviously, that's kind of, guided by Stuckmann's direction, but cinematography in this is absolutely beautiful. And even the drone shots that they got was really, really good as well. Um, I hope I'm saying his name correctly. James Burkholder. I'm assuming that's his last name. And Newton Brothers. They did the score for this movie, and it's absolutely awesome. Like, just the right amount of tension building while also, I don't want to say relying on the norms of a horror movie, where it's like, those impactful, like, sting moments where, you have to kind of accentuate a jump scare. Um, but it was a really, really good soundtrack, and definitely added to the tension um, in the movie. Also, I must say, whenever I watch a horror movie and the horror movie is making me do this, where I'm watching the movie like arms up, like blocking at least half of the screen, it's doing something right. This was a combination of, you know, Lake Mungo's tension and noticing stuff in the background, mixed with um, typical horror movie stuff, with the jump scares and stuff like that. And it definitely combines into something that's very, very, very scary, and you're just waiting for something to happen to make you jump out of your seat. So it was really well done. If I did have one nitpick to talk about, it's, I think, towards the tail end, it seems like, it wraps up um, relatively quickly. However, there is something that happens afterwards that I think kind of saves, not necessarily saves it, but I wish there was like maybe a little bit more time dedicated to maybe extending that that happy feeling, because there is a lot of that movie that has you know terror, dread. So maybe extend out that happy moment, just maybe just a little bit longer before giving us that big reveal at the very end of the film. And I'm being vague about this, not trying to spoil anything, because you guys should go see this in theaters. Go support this man's film because it's awesome. All the performances are great in this. He's an amazing writer. He's an amazing director. His cinematographer is on point. The effects in this are really, really good. A nice combination of CG and practical effects that look really, really good. Music is awesome. The scares in this were really, really good. Like, this is a really, really solid first outing for a first time director. So go support this man's film. Go see it in theaters, because you owe it to yourself to see this movie in theaters. Um, and it was just really, really good. So go see it in theaters. It's under 2 hours. You're not going to waste, all this time. Go and watch it in theaters. But that is my review of Shelby Oaks. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. And once again, congratulations, Chris. You deserve all of the success that you are going to get with this film. And hopefully you have many more in the future. But that is pretty much it for me, guys. Be safe out there. And if any one of your siblings, gets lost out in the woods, and, you come across, like, an old abandoned house, or what you think is an old abandoned house, my advice, I love my sibling, but I wouldn't go out into the woods to try and find them. So I'm just gonna say, you fend for yourself. I'm gonna go somewhere that's safe and not, you know, shit your pants worthy of scared. So fend for yourself. I'm gonna go somewhere safe, and I will catch you guys next time.